Welcome back, folks. Take two for us. Take one for y'all. We'll hope this works. I don't know. That's Leroy Michael. This is the We Tryin' channel, Nerded by Nature Productions. We're gonna try and react to the Captain America: Brave New World trailer. We tried before, and technology just wouldn't let us do what we needed to do. Hopefully, it works this time. We'll see. Any thoughts, Leroy?
Uh,
Is that your thoughts? I don't. Huh?
so
Are you trying
as
to
you
tell
can
us something?
tell, as you can see, I'm a little excited for this one, and this is just the stuff I was able to get out while the kids
Mhm.
were trying to go to bed. I'm very excited for this trailer. I teared up during Endgame when Sam was given the shield. I like Winter Falcon. Hashtag bring back Winter Falcon. Um, or Winter Soldier and the Falcon, as it's actually called. Um,
Yeah.
but
Hashtag bring it back by the right name.
I'm really excited to see how they do this, to see how how the landscape has changed now that Sam Wilson is Captain America, what the world looks like for Sam after assuming the mantle, kind of stepping into that role, and how the world receives him as Captain America. I'm interested to see how they express that in here. Um, yeah, let's get to it. That's enough.
All right, let's go.
Wilson. Thanks for coming in.
Well, thank you for the invite, sir. I have to admit, I'm still getting used to the new look.
They said lose the mustache or lose the election. You and I haven't always agreed in the past, but I want to make another run at making Captain America an official military position.
And if we disagree on how to manage this situation, then what happens?
Work with me, Sam. We'll show the world a better way forward.
Oh no!
Is that Isaiah Bradley?
That was Isaiah Brad.
Sir, your inner circle's been compromised. Either you can't see that, or you don't want to.
What if it's a trap?
Global power is shifting.
The leader.
You're just a pawn.
Oh shoot, was that Sin?
You may be Captain America, but you're not Steve Rogers.
That's the question, right? Oh God!
You're right. I'm not.
Okay.
So
Sir, it's just a teaser. Was it everything you wanted to be, or you don't know yet because it's just a teaser?
no, I'm very glad that this is. It looks. I don't want to well. I didn't. I was about to say I don't want to speculate too much. That's literally
That's,
what we.
that's what we do.
That's the job. There's a clip in here that it looks like there was a woman in red, and that looked like Sin. And
Who is that?
Sin is the Red Skull's daughter.
Okay.
And I don't know if keep playing it.
Oh, I want to. It just froze.
That's
Yeah.
crappy internet. I don't know if that was her or not. I think that's interesting that they brought back Isaiah Bradley. Everybody's trying to figure out who Giancarlo Esposito is.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's definitely her. Who he is in this,
Mhm.
I find it interesting that they held back on the wings until like the final seconds of the trailer.
Uh-huh.
Until this part right here where he says, "I'm not." And
I mean, maybe
I'm
that's his hero moment where he's like, I'm somebody different.
what I'm wondering is this, to me, this is set up very, very, very similar to what we saw in Civil War. Not Civil War, Winter Soldier,
Mhm.
where Nick Fury talks about Shield has been infiltrated. Hydra is all through Shield. Spoiler alert for those who have not seen Captain America: Winter Soldier. Steve Rogers says it all has to go. Shield has to go. I'm very interested in this movie. I'm glad that they did not show too much. I'm glad that they did not like explain who Giancarlo Esposito is. We know Liv Tyler's in this, and if you go to IMDb, so Liv Tyler is Betty Ross. Thunderbolt Ross is listed as Harrison Ford. Giancarlo Esposito, who's the third person listed as a cast member, his identity is Blake. You've got Diamondback in this, which I'm so happy to see, which means the Serpent Society is in this film. Tim Blake Nelson is back as the leader. We got Danny Ramirez back as Joaquin Torres, the Falcon from Falcon and Winter Soldier. And they do not list. Now, there's another wrestler in here, Kobe Lopez. You're aware of him, right?
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he's in this as well. And I believe that woman in red that we saw is Sin.
Okay.
But it does not have anyone listed as that. So I like that there's a little bit of mystery with this trailer. I like that we don't know exactly what's going on, but we do know that there's a threat to the president.
I have a comic book question for you.
What's that?
Does Sam Wilson ever take the super soldier serum?
No. Not to my knowledge, no. How does he?
Yes.
Very good question. How does he navigate being Captain America as just a regular dude?
Because a one good punch could kill him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But the comics are able to make it seem believable that he can still take on threats, even though he doesn't have super soldier.
It does. And then also remember, Captain America lost the super soldier serum for a while too, and was just a regular guy. Matter of fact, Ron Lim's run, where he teamed up with Diamondback, has him questioning whether or not he is Captain America without the serum. So he's like a strong dude, kind of like Alan Ritchson from Reacher. So he's a burly, strong dude to begin with. But the question is he still Captain America, or does the serum make him Captain America? And it caused a lot of controversy back in the day, because it essentially asked the question is, are you a drug addict, or are you dependent upon this drug to be who you are, or could you be Captain America without it? And so that's a very good question. I really hope they do a good job with this and ask those questions.
Fair enough. I think this looks great, and I like the idea. You bring up Winter Soldier. I don't think that's a coincidence, right? I think Winter Soldier was one of the most popular movies in the MCU. I think for me, I've definitely said it. I've been on record saying that's my favorite movie in the MCU is Winter Soldier.
And critically, it's one of the best. A lot of people, not just one of the most popular, critically, they think it is one of the best MCU movies.
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. So if they were trying to emulate that again or copy that, it makes sense. Why not?
Now, remember, they did try to copy that in another movie that did not do well.
In what?
Black Widow. Remember, that trailer was cut to simulate that feeling that you got from Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, here's hoping that they can do it better here than they did there. I saw an article saying that there is an Iranian superhero in this, maybe?
Sabra.
Okay. That's a female?
Yes.
Yeah. And she has ties to the Black Widow program, maybe? At least in this version of her has ties to the Black Widow program?
Probably. I mean, it would be nice to see that thread continued, that the widows are still around. So, but I believe Sabra is the one that they're referencing.
Is Sebastian Stan listed on the
He is not,
interest?
which I find, which again, you're right, very interesting.
To be fair, though, maybe he's kind
Oh
of
wait,
headlining.
sorry. The woman who's playing Shira Haas, she is not the actress that I thought was. She's actually Israeli.
Israeli. Okay.
So I'm looking for the other woman you were talking about.
So, I mean, I guess Sebastian Stan could be headlining with what's the new Black Widow and Thunderbolts, right? Aren't they kind of leading that team? I guess so. Maybe that.
Well, we don't know. We don't know if he's leading that team or if he's. Or we know that that character is possibly going to have something to do with that team, but we don't know in what in what capacity. Because it could be the Thunderbolts are assembled to catch him. Because if I don't know if you remember, he's still a threat. He hasn't exactly been washed away of all his sins. To the homeland, that is still a bad dude.
Sure.
Depends on who you ask.
I like the idea of Harrison Ford stepping into this role. We see Red Hulk there at the end. Do you think? And I mean, the comic books, Red Hulk is Thaddeus, right? That is the same person.
Yep.
Do we assume that this Red Hulk is also Thaddeus?
I
Or do we
would
think it's somebody else?
I'm going to go with, until told otherwise, I'm going to believe that the Red Hulk is Thunderbolt Ross.
That makes sense because when they did the Winter Soldier trailer and they showed the Winter Soldier, I mean, they didn't try to take it to make it somebody else. People who knew that was going to be Bucky. So that makes sense. They would keep the same thing. I think
The
this
only
is
time
cool.
they did that, the only time they tried to do the bait and switch was in the Black Widow movie when they did who is the person who's
Taskmaster?
Taskmaster, and then they did the same thing with who is Black Panther in World of Wakanda. They did try that whole who's going to take up the mantle, but it we figured it out throughout the movie. It was fairly obvious, but there was still that who is this female superhero? Is it going to be Shuri? Is it going to be Okoye? Is it going to be I can't remember what Lupita's character's name is. Starts with an N, right?
You said Okoye, right?
Okoye, but Okoye was the Dora
Okoye.
Milaje.
Yeah.
So we did have a little bit of that, not necessarily bait and switch, but they did play with that a little bit in the lead up to that movie. So I'm assuming that it is going to be Thunderbolt Ross until told otherwise.
Okay.
But I do think we will see a little bit of the remnants of what we saw in Winter Falcon. I can't stop saying it because I just love that.
That's what you
But
said. Yeah.
I do believe we're going to see Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character, Quintessa. I do think we probably will see maybe a couple of people from the Thunderbolts, or maybe it leads into the Thunderbolts. The Marvel does a very good job of that, letting one property have sprinkled bits and pieces of another property they have coming up. And with them restarted and trying to get back to what people loved about the MCU, I could see them backdoor piloting either Armor Wars or I could see them backdoor piloting Armor Wars or the Thunderbolts. And here's another thing that we have not talked about. We haven't discussed since Secret Invasion this entire population of Skrulls living on this planet, just walking around. So this could be a thread that they picked
have they
up
had
on.
a Marvel property that has followed the storyline since then?
No, because remember
Marvel's was set beforehand, right?
Marvel was supposed to be set beforehand, but Secret Invasion came out first, so that also helped as far as like everything was discombobulated. Because remember, Marvel's was supposed to come out, then Secret Invasion, and they didn't do that. So people were like watching Marvel's, and if they had watched Secret Invasion, was like, well, wait a minute, he's not even discussing this. And remember, at the end of Secret Invasion, the president was like, yo, I'm going to get every single one of these green bastards. Remember at the end of Secret Invasion, they tried to take out the president. We saw the president flip to the other side. We saw the fact that Rhodey was a Skrull.
Right.
So those tentacles have not been addressed, and this could be the brave new world that we're talking about.
Yeah, and the fact that Thunderbolt Ross is the president, not the guy from Secret Invasion, it does kind of make you wonder. Okay, where are we in the timeline?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of good theories. I mean, we'll be speculating for a while until the next trailer comes out. What do you think? Next trailer is probably in Thanksgiving, Christmas?
Nah, because this comes out in February.
Yeah.
What big Disney? So Deadpool and Wolverine come out next week. San Diego
Pretty
Comic Con
much,
is
yeah.
next week. I could see a panel next week. So this is a teaser. I could see a trailer around. You're right. I do believe we could see a trailer around Christmas time, around Thanksgiving, that Black Friday. I could see that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't need to see anything else. But then again, they've got me. They don't need. I mean,
Sure.
I've got the shirt on. They don't have to convince me to go see this. I'm going to see all of it anyway.
Right. Yeah, and I
But
think they have a lot of people with that.
Well, no. But here's the thing. I would disagree with that because we have seen a contingent of people upset that Captain America is black.
Yeah,
And I think we have to be. I think we have to back this movie like we did Black Panther. And when I mean we, I think the nerd audience and people of color.
I mean, it's no coincidence that's coming out in February.
I mean, it's no coincidence coming out in February, but also I think we need to acknowledge the fact that this is a big seismic shift. That they could have went with Bucky. Story-wise, they could have went with Bucky. Bucky was Captain America at one point, but they didn't. They chose to go with Sam. And I personally appreciate that because that is something I did not think I would ever see in my lifetime. A live action Captain America. That is Steve Rogers then handing the shield to Sam Wilson. And I'm going to open this one. This one sat at my desk. I have that. I have the Marvel Select Sam Wilson action figure. I have the Dynamic Forces statue. I believe, if you remember, I had it in my case, the Detloff IKEA case. I have all the issues. I love this character, and I love what this character means. So I believe that we need to step up and support it. But that's just par for the course. I do believe that it's interesting that they released this trailer and all the worldwide stuff that's going on. It's going to be interesting how this movie's received going forward after this current election cycle is over.
Sure. Yeah. Lots of World War topics. We'll see how they integrate into the movie or not. We'll see if it'll be like a boy situation where like, oh man, these guys just wrote the future. They knew what was happening. But yeah. Any other passing thoughts before we wrap up?
No. Tell us who do you think Giancarlo Esposito's character is? Because it is a mystery. No one knows who he is. And they are doing a very good job of keeping it a secret because it is a big deal. So hit us up in the comments. Follow us on Threads, Facebook, Instagram. Michael still manages the Bird app, but I'm not on there anymore.
It's called Twitter. Sometimes people refer to it as that.
You do you.
Twitch, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hit us up. Let's talk about it.
All right.